Allow your awareness to gently settle now, like a soft feather drifting through the still, boundless sky of your own being, and begin to sense the quiet presence that witnesses all, the silent, unspoken watcher beneath the surface of your thoughts, beneath the swirling tides of emotion and the restless currents of memory. This presence, so familiar yet so elusive, has neither a name nor an age. It carries no biography, no label, no story stitched into its fabric. It simply is, vast, unchanging, utterly free. It is the unconditioned observer, the pristine consciousness that watches the entire theater of your experience without ever becoming entangled in the drama itself. Imagine this observer as a clear, endless lake at dawn, perfectly still and reflecting the sky without distortion or interruption, unruffled by the ripples that dance upon its surface. This lake does not identify with the fish or the leaves that drift across it. It remains untouched, serene, and infinitely present. Feel now the exquisite relief that arises as you come home to this observer, this boundless space of awareness that neither judges nor clings, that neither remembers nor anticipates. It is a presence that has never been born and will never cease to be. It is the silent, timeless background against which all your fleeting experiences appear and disappear like clouds crossing the vast expanse of a luminous blue sky. You are invited to rest here in this spacious freedom, where there is no past to carry, no future to chase, no identity to defend. This unconditioned observer is the root of your being, the unshakable ground beneath the shifting sands of your personal story. It is the pure seeing that remains when every label, every thought, every sense of I falls away, like mist dissolving in the warmth of morning light. Notice how the mind often insists on identifying itself with names, roles, ages, and histories, weaving a dense tapestry of identity that feels real and necessary. Yet this is only a reflection, a wave rising and falling on the surface of the ocean of consciousness. Beneath these waves lies the depthless sea itself, silent, formless, alive with an infinite, unspoken knowing. You are invited now to gently shift your attention away from the restless surface of thoughts and feelings, and to immerse yourself in the vast silent ocean of the observer. Here there is no story to defend, no mask to wear, no performance to maintain. Here is nothing but pure, unconditioned presence, luminous and free, untouched by the passage of time or the flicker of events. Feel the profound spaciousness that opens up when you recognize this observer as your true self. Not the temporary character you have played in countless lives, but the eternal awareness that witnesses all those roles without ever needing to join the cast. This awareness knows no beginning and no end. It is untouched by change, unbound by the limitations of form or circumstance. Like a vast sky that holds every storm and every ray of sunlight without ever being diminished, this unconditioned observer remains whole and radiant, irrespective of what arises within it. Let this realization wash gently over you, like a cool, soothing breeze that clears away the dust of identification and leaves behind a crystal clarity that feels both deeply peaceful and thrillingly alive. As you rest in this presence, notice how the urge to grasp onto a fixed self begins to soften, how the relentless chatter of the mind about who you are or should be grows quieter and more distant. The unconditioned observer does not need to construct or defend a self. It simply is. It does not accumulate achievements or carry regrets. It does not fret over future possibilities or mourn past losses. It is the spacious, silent backdrop against which every experience unfolds. And in its vast embrace, all things are perfectly held and entirely free. This presence is like the vast, ancient sky at night, dark and immeasurably deep, yet filled with countless stars that shine effortlessly, each moment illuminating the unfolding mystery of existence without strain or effort. Allow yourself now to gently rest in the knowing that this observer is not separate from you, but is the very essence of your being. It is the stillness that breathes beneath every movement, the silence that sings beneath every sound. It is the unbroken thread of awareness that weaves through every moment of your life, unchanged by the passing seasons of your mind and body. With each breath, feel yourself sinking ever more deeply into this presence, recognizing it as the pure, unconditioned space from which all experience arises and into which all experience dissolves. There is nothing to fix here, nothing to change or improve, only the luxurious, boundless freedom of simply being the silent watcher who knows no fear, no limitation, no boundary. Imagine now that this observer is like the vast, ancient forest that has stood through countless cycles of growth and decay, untouched by the comings and goings beneath its canopy. The trees, the animals, the seasons, all play their part within its embrace. Yet the forest itself remains unchanged, a timeless sanctuary of presence and stillness. You are the forest, the unconditioned observer, holding every passing moment with a gentle, unfathomable grace. No matter how intense the storm, no matter how wild the dance of leaves and shadows, the forest remains deeply rooted, expansive, and serenely whole. This is your true nature, a sanctuary of peaceful awareness that neither ages nor fades, that knows no story but the eternal unfolding of this very moment. Feel now the spacious relief that comes with fully embracing this unconditioned observer as your own abiding self. There is no need to chase after identity, no need to cling to the fragile constructs of the mind. You are already complete, already free, already whole in the silent gaze that watches all without judgment or attachment. This is the profound, radiant truth of your existence, that beneath the shifting surface of life's experiences lies the unchanging presence of pure awareness, vast as the sky and deep as the ocean, welcoming you home to the infinite freedom of just being. Let yourself rest here now, in this sacred space where time dissolves, where history fades, and where the luminous observer within you shines quietly, eternally, unconditionally free. Allow your attention now to settle softly into the vast, uncharted expanse that lies just beyond the reach of all names, labels, and stories. Sense the subtle presence that witnesses all experience without a single flicker of judgment or attachment, the silent core of your being that neither ages nor changes, that neither begins nor ends. This is the unconditioned observer, the boundless awareness that watches the dance of thoughts, emotions, and sensations as a distant, serene sky watches clouds drift endlessly by. It is not something you do or become, it simply is. The timeless, nameless space in which every moment unfolds effortlessly, like a quiet ocean stretching beyond any horizon you could imagine. Feel now how this observer does not cling to any identity, no matter how deeply entrenched it may seem. It holds no record of your history, no memory of your past triumphs or failures, no anticipation of what the future might bring. It is the stillness that remains when every story slips quietly away, the luminous silence behind every sound, the spacious openness beneath every thought. Imagine yourself as a vast, ancient tree, rooted deeply in the earth, yet unbothered by the passing seasons, the falling leaves, or the shifting winds. The observer is that tree's timeless essence, steady, unwavering, and infinitely patient, witnessing all transformations without resistance or desire. Notice the relief that arises as you realize this observer is utterly unaffected by the relentless flux of your inner landscape. It does not swell with pride nor shrink in shame. It simply receives each experience as a passing visitor, allowing feelings of joy and sorrow alike to come and go like waves upon a boundless sea. There is no need for the silent watcher to intervene or fix what it observes, for it knows that all phenomena are transient clouds dissolving in the open sky of awareness. This profound detachment is not cold or distant, but a gentle, all-embracing kindness that holds everything tenderly, without grasping or aversion. Allow this truth to seep deeper now, into every fiber of your being. The observer exists beyond the confines of time and space, beyond the grasp of any story your mind might weave. It is the unchanging light behind all the flickering images on the screen of your consciousness. Like the sun that shines indiscriminately on every field and forest, every joy and sorrow, this observer is the unblemished radiance that illuminates the entirety of your experience without preference or prejudice. You are not the character in the story, not the waves upon the ocean, but the ocean itself, vast, deep, and endlessly serene. Feel the spacious freedom that arises as the boundaries between you and what you see begin to soften and dissolve. The observer does not say, "This is me," and "that is not me." It simply is the silent presence in which all distinctions lose their meaning. You might liken it to the sky at dusk, vast and unchanging, holding every shifting color and shape without effort or concern. No cloud can claim the sky as its own. No wind can alter its essence. In this same way, the unconditioned observer holds your entire life with a tender, unshakable peace that transcends all duality. Gently recognize that this observer is not confined within your body or mind, although it appears to look out through your eyes and listen through your ears. It is the invisible field in which every sensation arises and fades, the endless canvas upon which the brushstrokes of your life are momentarily painted and then erased. It has no age because it is beyond time. It has no name because it is before all naming. It has no history because it simply is the eternal now. This realization is not a concept to grasp, but a truth to rest in. A silent refuge where the restless mind can finally exhale and simply be. As you rest here, allow the subtle awareness of this observer to expand and envelop every corner of your being. Feel how it dissolves the illusion of separation, the fragile sense of a self isolated in a vast, indifferent universe. Instead, you become the all-encompassing presence in which all things arise and vanish like reflections on a still pond. There is no doer, no owner, no separate entity watching from a distance. There is only the luminous, unconditioned awareness that effortlessly perceives all things as one seamless, harmonious whole. Consider now the exquisite paradox of this observer. It is both perfectly still and endlessly alive, entirely invisible, yet intimately familiar, utterly beyond words, and yet the very source of all understanding. It is the silent root from which every tree of thought grows, the deep wellspring beneath the rushing river of sensations. To rest in this observer is to rest in your truest nature, the essence that neither disturbs nor is disturbed, the pure, unshakable presence that remains when every mask falls away. Feel the exquisite relief of no longer needing to define yourself by anything that passes through your experience, no longer needing to clutch tightly to the fleeting forms of identity, achievement, or memory. The observer does not require you to perform, to fix, or to become. It simply invites you to come home to this vast openness, this unbounded spaciousness, where all things are held with gentle, impartial love. In this sacred space, there is no judgment, no struggle, only the profound, liberating truth that you are already whole, already complete, already free. Let this spacious freedom wash through you now, like a gentle tide that softly dissolves all the tight knots of self-doubt, fear, and longing. Notice how the observer's presence creates a cushion of radiant stillness beneath the restless waves of your mind, a sanctuary where you can simply be without effort or expectation. Here in this profound simplicity, your true nature shines forth, clear, radiant, and boundless, beyond all names and forms. Rest deeply in this knowing. The unconditioned observer is not something to attain or achieve, but the very essence you have always been. It is the silent pulse beneath all life, the eternal witness that lovingly cradles every breath, every moment, every subtle flicker of existence. You have nothing to add, nothing to change. You only need to relax into the magnificent, timeless presence that has quietly, patiently been with you all along. Breathe now with the gentle rhythm of this awareness, feeling the infinite expanse of the observer embrace you completely. There is no separation here, only the seamless flow of being, the luminous dance of presence and experience woven into a single perfect tapestry. In this boundless space, you are free to simply rest, free to simply be, unconditionally, eternally, profoundly.